Super cool, super cool, super cool intro. That is that's Mark. Doing some awesome work there. Been out in the garage sewing and sewing and sewing, and then ran in here to do this. Once again, that's Mr. Mark, Mr. Mark, Mr. Mark, Mr. Mark, Mr. Mark, right there, Mark Weaver. Put together that intro. That's music by Die Fast. That's the band that I sing for. That particular track was produced by Andrew Murdoch. He's also known as Mud Rock. He produced, I think, the first 3 Godsmack records. And he did a couple of Alice Cooper records, Eyes of Alice Cooper, another record. He did, and I also think the first 2 or 3 Avenged Sevenfold records. So that's, well, I mean, we've been working on that record for a really long time, I think now. It's probably been like, oh man, really? Maybe, God, has it been 10 years? Lord. But we have a bunch of material done. So on that record now, as the record kind of expands and I keep recording more stuff, we have Boba playing on one of the tracks. He's the keyboard player from Helicopters. He's playing on a song called Baby. It's kind of like a Iggy Pop, kind of a tribute song. We have Calico Cooper singing on one of the versions of a song called Like to F. I don't know if I can say it on here. And what other big time stars around there? I think that might be it. But that's like a lot of star power for one record. Yeah, I think for guests, that's plenty. I really don't like it when you pick up a record and it just seems like every track has like a guest star on it. Then I just think, I think you're trying too hard, man. I think you're trying too hard when you get like every song's got a guest star, like guitar solo by somebody. I think that you just, you're trying everything you can because maybe the songs aren't that great. I don't know. I feel like the songs on this album are pretty catchy. And I think we have some pretty catchy tunes on both the other Die Fast records. So Die Fast Hollywood, you can get. That is out. And also Die Fast Live Ammunition is out. It's not live. It's just the first record. It sounds... it sounds all right. I think the first record sounds all right. I think the second record sounds way, way better. So for all you gearheads, and I don't even know what to tell you about it exactly, but so the second record we recorded ourselves. Yeah, I think we recorded all of it ourselves and bounced it down to 6 tracks, I think. And it was recorded on some kind of like hard drive, kind of a DAT thing, or maybe it was a cassette. I don't remember. So anyway, then when that was going on, then we met Andrew Murdoch, and he came and saw the band live a couple times. He's like, dude, I want in. I want to help you guys out. So what he did is he took the recordings that we had, and he did a bunch of magic to them, and he went through and he kind of re-recorded all the drum stuff, but he did stuff like he would, for instance, play the bass drum track through a speaker onto another bass drum head and mic that. And then for the snare, he did the same thing. He had a speaker playing just the snare parts, and he put it, I don't know, I think it was a couple inches or so above a snare, and then he would mic like the top and the bottom of that thing. So they did like a lot of these crazy tricks to get the Hollywood album to sound good. And so the song that you guys heard, "Handsome," is one of the songs that's supposed to come out on the it's on the new record. So that, and then the intro yesterday is another song called "Nothing's Wrong." That's on the new record. And one of these days, all this stuff's going to come out together. And we've been working on it for so long. I don't know. Like I really want to make some 45s. I really want to do some records. So I'm hoping I can get someone to put some of this stuff out. I wrote a Swedish label earlier today. We'll see. I just got to keep, bothering people and see what happens. Yeah, live DVD. I have to have a band for that, Mike. So right now, basically, it's like me and a drummer that lives in Houston, and so I live like 2.5 hours away from him. I really don't know what's going on there, but like the guys that played on the recent like singles that we did. One is Glenn. This guy Glenn Gilbert. He plays with one of those Ramones, the Ramone drummer. Is it Richie? I should know this. But he tours with one of the Ramone drummers. It's not Marky. It's got to be Richie, I think. So he's kind of busy, but he played on that on the 2 tracks that we did recently. The one that Calico Cooper was on. And on second guitar was a guy named Jimmy Douglas. And he's the guy who's playing guitar on "Handsome," the song that you heard today. And he's kind of like the guy that's always down to do stuff. So I can call him. He'll come into town. He'll play some parts. And he'll play shows if we can work him out. Like we didn't get to do some shows together because he just had a baby. I guess that was that May? I don't know. But anyway, there's some shows we were going to do, and then he was having a kid. And then, yeah, so it was like, a bunch of players that, the guitar players, like, rotated in and out and stuff. So we're trying to figure out, I'm trying to figure out what to do next. I think that I should probably just concentrate on all the material and trying to get somebody who's interested in doing all this stuff. I know enough musicians where I could probably pull a band together to do stuff, but I just don't want to. I love playing live, but if you're playing live and there's no direction to the band and there's no commitment from everybody, it's just like kind of a waste of time and money. But my opinion might be different by tomorrow. I might be like, I don't care. I just want to play. So yeah, it goes back and forth. So what is going on? Screen printing party is coming up in Los Angeles. So that's going to be next Saturday, October 5th. I probably need to make the event thing today. And basically what we do is, anything you want to bring, all screen printed. There's like a ton of screens there. Like there's 16 years worth of Junker stuff there. And I try to pick like 1 or 2 new things, and then pick 1 or 2 or 3 old things, and I'll print whatever. So obviously t-shirts are t-shirts are best, are easiest, but I'll print on whatever. And so that's a good way to like just meet people, and I get to screen print for them. They get to see what like screen printing is like. They get to try to use they can try to screen print their own stuff while they're there. Hang out. People like drink beer. Last time we had a Monster sponsor. I don't know if we're doing that again. And it's usually like a good time. Try to get people to eat Frito pie. Talked about that I think yesterday. So that's what's happening at the party. So if you're in California, or especially LA area, it's not too far from downtown, so you can just come over there and check it out. And I'd like to meet you. I'll show you the shop and everything. Hey, what's up, Bonnie? Oh, thanks, Bonnie. I'm sorry that you have to go back to work. That it is what it is, I guess. But you can watch the rest of the show later. Today we had a new intro. Yeah, you'll see it later. But I appreciate you stopping by. So yeah, we'll do that show October 5th, and then I'm in talks to see if I might be a guest at a thing called Dystopia Con, and that's also, I think, in LA. I think that's in November, and then I'll be back there also in I believe end of January, maybe, whenever NAMM is. I try to have a party, but it just depends on what's going on with the films and stuff. So there's always films in the works. So in case you guys didn't see, then the Alita Part 2 stuff keeps picking up steam. And I saw like even another article, which is weird because it's all recent articles, and I thought James Cameron was, knee deep in Avatar, but I don't think that matters. And he's had that material for a really long time, so it's possible he has more scripts that were already kind of written. So what he did last time, he just gave Robert Rodriguez the script, and I think he knocked it down from 180 pages to like whatever the shooting script was. It was like, I think it was 121 or something around that. And so I mean, I just keep hearing more and more about that, and so I think that I don't know. I think it could happen. Like, the fan base is crazy. And it'd be hopefully an opportunity to make a bunch of other crazy stuff, depending on what Nina comes up with. Nina Proctor's the main costume designer. But, there's a lot of production art that we looked at, and there's a lot of stuff that comes from, the manga. Just looking at the manga, looking at the anime, and make sure that it keeps some of that flavor. Yes. It is almost finished. I'll say almost finished. I'm gonna have it finished before the end of October, because I want to do the Hugo drawing. Needs to happen in November. I don't want to keep dragging it out. I've done all the promo I can possibly promo. All the people who are interested have already got tickets. The only thing that it means is that because I didn't sell 2,000 tickets, I can't fly like I wanted to go measure the person for their jacket that they're going to win, which is a bummer. And then as far as the giveaways, like, you'll still get the Exploder t-shirt, but I'm not going to be able to give like a ton of stuff away like I wanted to. All that was depending on, me being able to sell 2,000 tickets. It still could happen. I need to do like another big push. And I've been talking to Kian, and I think I'm making him a jacket as well when I'm in LA. And I'll see if he'll give it a push. I know he's busy on like Midway stuff. I don't know. I think it could happen. I don't know why the fan. It's weird. Everyone I talk to loves that jacket, and then it's hard to get people interested in a raffle. Maybe I don't know. All the Alita groups, I have to give a lot of thanks to, all of them on YouTube, and especially the ones that are on Facebook, and that would include Alita Army, and Alita Deutschland is on there, and there's like Alita Moto Ball Club or something. There's like probably like 6 of them, 6 or so of these groups. They've all been cool. They let me post on the on their page. So we'll see. But I do appreciate you asking, because yeah, I want to wrap this stuff up, and then we'll move on to Akira. Will be the next one, and then after that, I think I'm going to do like an alien inspired battle jacket or something. You know, because you saw the Space Marines, but really those guys were not very well equipped to deal with much of anything. Their arms were mostly exposed. They had just like the armor plate on the chest and on the back. Sure, they had helmets, but mostly that they were not. I don't understand how they went on any bug hunts before they did the big bug hunt in Aliens without more armor, like a lot more armor. And speaking of which, then after that, I really want to try to make this. There's a heavy-duty police officer in maybe Mark, or there's another guy I know in England, Stephen Gregory. I've been trying to get someone to get some screen grabs of this guy. In Blade Runner 20 what was it, 2049, the new one, Ryan Gosling goes to kind of eat at that weird outdoor kind of a mall thing where he runs into the prostitutes and stuff, the replicants. And as they kind of intro that scene really quickly, like from like right across the screen really fast, there is a police officer wearing like some really like heavy duty armor, and I want to get a closer look at that. And I have maybe that'll be my homework. I don't know how to, if I can. I can't really do like probably a very good freeze frame in here. Oh, really? Oh, dude, thanks so much. I'm glad that you bought your tickets, and I really appreciate it. Yeah, I don't know if I don't know what's going on. Maybe now that there's like a lot of buzz about the next Alita films possibly happening, maybe that's another time, and I'll really just try to do a push the whole time I'm in LA next week, and see if Kean will put his face on camera and stuff. He's a super nice guy. I'm really excited for the Midway films. We talked about this before as well. It's just I grew up on war films and studied war history, World War II mostly, and to see them doing like a remake of Midway. I don't know if it's a remake of the film Midway, but they're doing another film about Midway, and I think there's been quite a few. And I'll try and get you like some time code or something tonight, Mark, when I try to look at this later. But it's it's the first time he runs into the girl in the furry jacket, and like I don't even know any of these people's names. I don't remember. I know the first Blade Runner really well, and then the second one, I think Mark. I don't know. I just had this discussion with somebody. So the problem was like for me, and so the great thing about Star Wars, for instance, and I would say the first Blade Runner. Oh, you think it's clickbait? God, it sucks. I think something's going on though, as well. I'm not saying I was told to be ready to start working on some shit soon, but they wouldn't tell me what it was. That doesn't mean anything. Doesn't mean anything. Just means they told me to get ready to work on some stuff, but they can't tell me what it is, which is not uncommon at all. Because usually they can't tell you anything until you sign your NDA, and so NDA is just non-disclosure agreement, and that means so when I talked to the mouse, I had to sign one. When I talked to a screenwriter, I've had to fill one out, and then on most films fill them out too, because you can't work on a film and then take like selfies, like by the Garushka cape or whatever's going on. You can't do any of that stuff. And I tend to not even show my work after the film comes out because it's not really sanctioned by 20th Century Fox and Lightstorm, for instance, if we're talking about Alita. Now, I did post, I have the pants here today, so these are pants that you'll never see in the movie, but they are in the movie. And so when I was working on Alita, I was living in Houston. I was driving back and forth to Austin, and part of my routine over there was we would all go down to the creek and take the dogs and kind of run around. That's what I did the whole time I was growing up. Go to the creek, look at turtles, try and get crawdads, try to get frogs, kind of capture some snakes and stuff. And there's always weird stuff in the creek. So I found this rotting, like a camera bag. Who is they? Like, I don't even know if I should say who they is. I just say like my normal bosses that I work for at Troublemaker. So I'd say Troublemaker Studios told me to get ready to work on something. I don't think that's going to get me in trouble. So if you don't know much, well, yeah, you're on here. You already know like what I do. I mostly work at Troublemaker on films, and then on the side I have like another clothing company. So I've worked on a lot of stuff with Part 2 in it. So Machete Part 2, Sin City Part 2, Long Road Home, which was a National Geographic war movie, Dusk Till Dawn Season 2, Fear of the Walking Dead, Alita, We Can Be Heroes. Those are the films I've been on the payroll. So a lot of the film work I did before that was as a contractor. So I've known Robert and Nina, the costume designer, for a long time. So I would still work for them, but I had to bother them for a while until they let me like come and work in the workshop, because it's like a family. So you just don't want some other. I don't know if they were worried if I was just going to be like trying to make sure all my designs get used all the time or upset the balance, but I'm actually really mellow because I really, really, really respect Nina Proctor a whole lot. She's got years and years and years and years and years of experience, so I, give her my ideas. I don't care if she likes them or not. I just try to like throw them out there. Sometimes she likes stuff, sometimes she doesn't, but no matter what, I'm learning from someone who's been doing it like way, way, way longer than I have. So what do you think, is it Shoggy War? Because you seem pretty up on what's going on. Because the other thing that I was reading this morning, which I thought was really loony, was the Kevin Feige news that he might do a Star Wars film now. Do you think that's clickbait, or do you think that has any kind of roots on that one? Because I also heard that Brie Larson is supposed to be the new face of Star Wars now, after I guess Daisy Ridley is done, and then I heard she's not done. So I mean, I thought Brie Larson was already the star of the Marvel universe, so I don't know if she's. It all sounds terrible. So I don't know if Kevin Feige and her are like sharing bathwater or something, but it seems to be dragging her all around with him. So I'd be curious to know what you guys think about that. So just to like sum it up really fast, so what I heard is he's going to do, Feige's going to do a Star Wars. Why he would do just one, I have no idea. I don't know if they had a plan for a standalone one. and he's a producer. He's not a director, so I'm not sure what producing one film is going to do. I'm not sure if this is the part where Kathleen Kennedy is fading into the background, although I heard she's supposed to work on the next Indiana Jones movie. Okay, Alita stuff. I hear you. But that's the latest news there. Okay. Yeah, I'll try and do that. I'm kind of like in the dark ages here. Like I do my stream on a laptop that doesn't even have a place for me to stick the DVD or anything. I do have I don't know. I've got some weird computer TV. I don't know how to do any of this stuff. But yeah, so I know someone will help me. Everyone on here is super cool about helping me to figure out the technical stuff. So like the new intro is done by a guy I met on here. Mike Wells, another guy on here. Mark Weaver is the guy that was helping me with the computer stuff. Another guy on here, Mike Wells, has been helping me like around the shop over here. And this is like amazing guys that I met just from doing, the stream and talking crap. So as far as the Alita stuff then goes, since like you mostly follow Alita stuff, so you think that all the stuff about the part 2 is mostly clickbait. And I thought it was weird that, and I've watched 2 different things. I wonder if you and I watched the same stuff about James Cameron kind of saying like he would just do kind of whatever he wants to do. And I think it's because, I talked about it yesterday briefly, it's because that James Cameron has to own the IP for Alita. I mean, Lightstorm Entertainment probably does. I mean, 20th Century Fox wouldn't own that because I thought 20th Century Fox is just the distributor, yeah? I'm not sure. My paycheck said 20th Century Fox, so, when it gets into all that kind of stuff, like, I don't know what's going on. And, because I think a lot of people online talk about, like, well, Disney will never, do any more Alita stuff. And it's like, well, I don't know if they own it just because they own 20th Century Fox. They might. I don't know. I wish I knew someone who knew all this stuff. I do want to know because he would have bought the IP. So James Cameron's got to own that stuff. But either way, I like to see like some more Alita films. I mean, there's a lot of those books, and there's tons of material that they could do. Even if, well, I think it'd be a really expensive TV series or a very expensive series for whatever it'd be on Netflix or something else. Oh, Cameron, yeah, that's what I think. So really, like, if anything happened, 20th Century Fox would be like, we don't want to distribute it, we don't want to give you any money. And Cameron, I guess, it could be like, I'll figure out something else. But it seems like with the actors and with everyone else, that when deals get drawn up, everyone's doing three movie deals. Like I know all the actors are in the hook for 3 movies, but that doesn't mean anything. So same with the guy from Solo is signed on for 3 movies. It just means that they have the right to extend your contract, I think, out for another 2 movies after you do the 1 movie. And I don't think it in no way would it force a company to make 2 more movies if the thing is just tanking horribly. So since you're on here, I would be interested. So what do you think that the budget was for Alita? Because I heard it was like $250 million about, and I don't know if that's high. I also heard it's $170 million, and I don't know which to believe. But either way, it's like, I think it's made. It's been, I think, killing it on DVD. So I don't know if you guys are like into Alitas. I know some guys on here are. Some guys on here are not so much. I think most people on here have opinions on Star Wars. Most people probably have opinions on Junker because you're here. Um, so the future of Junker part um, just is more about there's so much stuff going on that this is a part where you hear about companies like they have to at some point they have to like grow. Who is this? Who is this Alita person? Well, she's small. And I guess, yeah, it could be confusing. She has like a couple different bodies. I guess she has 3 bodies. She has a body that was made by Dr. Ito for his daughter. She's got the body she takes out of the spaceship. And then once she puts the body on, then that body actually like kind of transforms again to make kind of a third version of the body. Okay, that makes sense. So 175, which is, I would say they got a lot of bang for their dollar. I mean, that thing was like pretty much CGI packed, and that stuff is not cheap. I know Weta was working on it like nonstop with, God only knows how many people. You can look on the DVD and figure it out. But it was a huge crew. When we were shooting, there was like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of cameras like everywhere. So they had to put them all over the city to capture all the action from all the different angles because, depending if they want to rotate the scene or zoom in or not zoom in, they can do a lot of stuff based on these models, but you have to have a bazillion cameras everywhere, and they did. They had like tons. I think it was... I'd have to look it up. Could be wrong. I thought it was like 400 and something of these cameras everywhere. Oh, okay, wow. God, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. That's just the tax break part was 16 million. Or they got a tax break on 16 million. I don't know. I would think they have someone who builds them like some weird ass supercomputers. Probably completely alien tech run weirdo supercomputers, like some guys, eating hot pockets and making supercomputers. You know the type. So yeah, just to run down the Junker news again. So the sneakers are on the way. I got the tracking, so they're definitely on the way. The boots are already here. I have to make some modifications on the boots. There is talks of doing did I tell you about doing the dystopia? There's a dystopia convention. The Dystopia Con or Dystopian Con is going on in Los Angeles. And I was sent a link this morning because they want me to go there and talk. And I do want to do that. And so I hope that works out. I'm looking for the link that I was sent earlier so I could... Yeah, I believe it. Man, it's great to see more Alita people on here. If you haven't entered the Alita Contest, I'll do my 2-minute pitch here. I'm doing a copy of the Hugo jacket that I made for the film. And you can win it. You can go to junkerdesigns.com, and it's the first thing that's going to pop up. You can get a chance at winning the jacket. And I'll make it to your size. And then... just because you've entered, because I know it sucks to enter and then not get anything, there's another video you can look at on my channel, and it's called Drawing Exploder, where I'm doing my own drawing of Exploder, the guy played it in the film, and you'll win an Exploder t-shirt. And everyone can win a ton more stuff if I could sell 2,000 tickets, but I don't know if that's going to happen, and I'd like to end this probably in mid-November. And we'll see. But if you guys are Alita fans, I mean, it really, really helped me out if you could share anything about the contest. Share the link. That's from the website. I'm going to start pushing it hard again this week. And next week, I have a meeting with Kian when I'm in LA at some point, and maybe he'll agree to say some words about it. But that's what's going on. Yeah, the con is pretty awesome. So let me tell you guys about this. So even if you're not in Los Angeles, I mean, this is this is pretty cool. I think this is pretty cool stuff. So it's obviously going to have guests. It's going to have events. It's going to have a film festival, and there's going to be exhibitors. Yeah. So let's look at the guests so far. So there's a guy named Mark Fergus. I guess he's a screenwriter. He wrote Iron Man, Children of Men, Cowboys and Aliens, and The Expanse. So that's pretty interesting. Tim Russ, who plays Tuvok. That's from Star Trek. There's another author named David Brin. Looks like there's a bunch of people I don't know. Saku Sakamoto. He's worked on the digital effects on Ghost in the Shell 2. Innocence, directed by Mamoru Oshii. Haven't even seen that one. Hey gamer, what's up, dude? Barney Berman. He's a part of the Berman family. They have been doing like effects, I believe, forever. Special effects artist John Gallagher works as a entertainment illustrator. He's done drawings and stuff for X-Men. It just goes on and on. It's like there's a bunch of guests. So it's everything from scientists to movie people. So I think that's why I'm really interested, because there's some really cool science stuff you can sit in on, like talk about the singularity. And it's in Los Angeles. It's November 8, 9, and 10. And it's at the Los Angeles Convention Center. It just sounds like a winner. It's a 3-day nonstop extravaganza of sci-fi panels, science workshops, exhibits, sci-fi movies, cyberpunk, cosplay, interactive cinema, and much more. So I don't know what else you need, but the thing that's really interesting about it that I like is Dystopia is brought to you by the passionate team behind the world-famous Philip K. Dick Science Fiction Film Festival. So these people are Philip K. Dick people, so that's always, it's like a must, right? I don't know how you're going to talk about dystopia anything and not, know some Philip K. Dick stuff. So anyway, that's what's going on. Dystopian cosplay, virtual reality, the singularity, like I said, science fiction films. It just, UFO agenda, there we go. So, I'm giving these guys some course a shout out. They want me to go talk there, but the question is, are they gonna help me to get there or not? But we'll see. I have to talk to them later today. I think they're supposed to send me an email, but I'm definitely excited about that, and I have to say, Ray Kennex, she's a cosplayer that shot some stuff for Junker. She is the one who turned me on to this and put my name in the mix, so big thanks to you. And I'll see her soon. She's going to do another shoot. We started to get some junk together to build like a little Blade Runner kind of set thing at Junker. So we could do like a better shoot, I think, because, I really want to do a really, really specific Blade Runner kind of a thing there. I want to go. I definitely want to go really bad. And so we'll see. We will see. So that's coming up. And then January, I'll be back in LA, probably for NAMM. That's the, I don't know, national something. It's a bunch of musicians come to LA. Oh boy. I think the baby got hurt. What happened? Hold on. What happened? She's okay? Oh boy. Ah. Anyway, the baby banged her head. It's weird having a kid, man. They hurt themselves like 100 times a day, so it's hard to, listen to your kid crying in the other room and do like a live stream, and I'm not gonna like ignore her. I mean, the mom's in there. It's no big deal, but you know what I'm saying. Poor little rascal, Jawa-sized rascal. Yeah, it's in the NAMM thing is in Anaheim, California. It's tons and tons of people. Yeah, I know, right? That's what they do, I guess. It's what I've learned. This is my first kid, and I've learned that she's gonna cry like a bunch of times a day. And I don't know, she slammed her head on part of this daybed. Yeah, they could hear that thud on the. They could hear that on the live feed. Either they could hear that, boom. She's fine. I think that's why they have that soft spot still, so their skull can take a lot of impacts and stuff. Yeah. So she's fine. Don't be concerned. Yeah, she's hilarious. And now, yeah, you can hear her like it anyway. So that dystopian con is, I think, really cool. I don't know if it's been going more than 1 year or not. I have no idea. Like I said, I'm gonna go check it out. So that's November, and I think I said the dates. But you can, if you want to find out more information about this, you can go to the website. And where is it? It's just dystopia sci-fi con.com. So dystopia sci-fi con.com. And it sounds really cool. It sounds like it's worth a trip if you can make the trip. I know Southwest is super cheap. Getting to California is actually pretty cheap considering you could. Oh, yeah, you guys know each other. Yeah, so I'm glad anyone who's on here is supporting Alita because, man, we want to make more films. I mean, just from... Where is she? Rascal. We definitely want to make more films. I mean, everyone on the crew that I know is really itching to make more stuff. So, if you don't know, I'm sure all you guys already know this, the Alita fans. It was shot entirely in Austin, Texas, in and around Austin. Most of it was shot on the Troublemaker lot. Obviously, there's tons and tons of green screen was used. Actually, that's not true. We did pick up shots in Dallas. We shot about a week of pickup shots where we were just getting more crowd scenes for the motorball stuff. So we basically had like sections of a stadium and we just crammed tons of people in there and filmed that. And then also we did some stuff where we just had like a big green screen on the ground and the camera was like way up here, and they were just filming like these kind of weird angles of street scenes, and they just had a bunch of people walking up and down on it. What they had decided, I heard, was that some of the street scenes, they felt like it was too, there wasn't enough people there, so we went in and added a bunch of people. What a pickup shot is just when, you know, they start cutting the film together, and they're like, shit, you know, we really needed a shot of Darth Vader like pulling out his lightsaber or whatever. But for Alita, they're just like, they just thought that the stuff is not, some of the stuff didn't look crowded enough. So we went and went to a big stadium in Dallas and just got a bunch of people and stuck them on these bleachers and stuff and filmed that. And then we put a bunch of green screen stuff on some walls and then all on the ground. And then they would film these kind of weird angles that they had already shot. And basically what they were doing was having a bunch of people walk up and down the street. They would film that, and then they would add them in the scenes they already shot, just so the city looked like it was a lot more crowded. So that's the pickup shots that we did, and that was pretty fun. I mean, dressing extras is always like hilarious. There's all kind of interesting folks, and I mean, I wouldn't have wanted to been an extra because it was really hot in Dallas when we were filming those pickups. Iron City, that we did shots for that. I've even can tell the shots because I had to dress the people, and I could try to figure out what they were. And then production crew. Well, I mean, I got to play. I played Exploder, which I thought that was really, really cool. And also, I didn't die, and I asked Robert about it, and he said I rolled away. So that was pretty crazy. There's another guy you can find on the DVD, a guy named Chris. And Chris is the first time that Hugo and Alita go to see a motorball match. You know, they walk up to that big piece of glass or whatever. Hey, Adam, welcome. And Vladdy, if I didn't say hello. And Shagawar, I think it's pronounced. Thank all you guys for showing up. Really appreciate it. But there's a guy named Chris, and when Alita and Hugo walk up to the big glass the first time they see the motorball match, and they're kind of like, whoa, and there's a crazy like fan there in a leather jacket wearing glasses, and he has like a Terminator hand, and also they put in like a Terminator skull in the junkyard too. So there's like some Cameron stuff fixed, you know, kind of like in the film. And so the interesting thing about Chris is he's like a super talented welder and like a metalsmith. So although you can't really see them that great in the film, it's pretty unfortunate. But when in Ambush Alley, you know, the guy like, who's the girl? He made all the weapons for was his name Romo? What was that guy's name? Alita people. He was the guy, and that kind of looked like the Joker, but he was in Ambush Alley. Who's the girl? He pulled out these weapons that were made by Chris. And then the other cool thing about that guy's name is Derek Mears, and he's the guy that plays Swamp Thing now. And Derek Mears is huge. I think he's got to be like 6'5", 6'3", somewhere around there. Super nice guy. He's been doing like creature stuff forever. I think he's one of the, I believe he's one of the Jasons from Friday the 13th as well. Yeah, Romo. So he made Romo's weapons. And man, just to see them for real and hold them, they're, man, really freaking heavy. But they look super cool. You know, they take forever to make. Like all this stuff that You know, probably the thing that I've learned most from working on films is like so much crazy work is never seen. Like all the tons of stuff that I did. Oh, let me show you those pants. Hold on. So I don't know how good you can see this stuff, but so these are the pants. So these are the ones that were made out of. This is just kind of stuff we make for extras and stuff. So this is like a Canon or a Nikon camera bag I found in the creek by my mom's house. And then, you know, these are some little cast parts that I would get from the art fab department. So the art fab department is, so they're the people who made the rocket hammer. And say when Chris makes a crazy weapon out of steel, like the art department, the art fab department has to go in and then make a copy that's rubber, you know, so you don't, you know, kill somebody. But these are those pants. So you can see, this is the kind of stuff I did for months and months and months. This is the back. And this is all just like camera bag parts and stuff. And you can get a closer look at the front here. I mean, all that rust, you know, all that like magical aging and stuff, that's, you know, yeah, it's all paint. And then some of it's not paint. It's because it was sitting in a creek by my mom's house. I just happened to find it. So, like, this is the kind of stuff that I did. I think I was in a room sewing that kind of stuff for, I don't know, about 3 months, 3.5 months straight. And also a lot of the characters, I had to make all these like kind of crazy like bondage strappy looking things and stuff. So the idea is you know, obviously these people have like cyber parts, but the cyber parts are also pretty heavy. So they're not just like you know, they don't just like grind them in and stick them in your bones and stuff. They also have to be like held on. You know, they have to be taken off and recharged, and they have to be able to take parts of it off and work on it. But you have to have like some extra support because it's still supposed to be heavy. So I ended up making these just all kinds of weird ass straps and stuff. There's like a girl. I'm gonna see if someone can help me go through the film, and I'll grab all the stuff that I worked on, and we can talk about that. Like when I get back from LA, so probably like near the end of October. There's like a lady with her daughter, like I did a bunch of stuff for her. There's a guy where Ito goes into the city. I think he's buying like some batteries or something from a guy. I made all of his stuff. Mace is the name of one of the characters. He's the guy that's got like all the screws and stuff like stuck into his head. We made all of his costume. You know, and the thing that was really great about the stuff that they showed us, because we got production art from Lightstorm because he had been working on the doing this film for like 10 years or something. It looked like stuff I would have made for Junker anyway. And Junker, if you don't know, junkerdesigns is the clothing company that I also have. So I grew up, you know, on Star Wars and then Road Warrior. So a lot of stuff I make has looks all beat up and it's got straps and stuff all over it. So when I started seeing all the production art for Alita, it was like beat up. There was like tons and tons of straps, and it looked like pieces kind of cobbled together. Because not everyone, obviously, in the Alita world is, you know, they're not doing too well. They have to get what they get from the trash heap. You know, Zellum is where the good stuff is, and everything else is second or third hand stuff, you know, that ends up down in Iron City. So, you know, it's important to have all the stuff there look kind of crazy. And it was definitely fun to look at the production art and then try to copy some of that stuff as well. Exactly. There's one guy I'm actually really proud of, and I have to see once again. I'll try to do like a screen grab or something for you guys. It's like an Asian guy wearing this crazy apron, and it's kind of this weird. I think he's got weird yellow stuff up here. I'll find it. You see him, and the reason I was so proud of that guy is because the actor that they got looked like the guy from the production art, and everything that I made on him, I was doing my best to copy the production art exactly. And we only had to really do that a few times because you have actors, yeah. Then you have featured extras, which is so when I played Exploder, that's really like a featured extra. I'm not, even though I did get like a name and everything, I was still just kind of an extra. And then you have like all the background people. But even though they were background people, it's important that certain pieces of artwork that we got from the production artists, we still copied exactly, even though we knew they were background people, and they may never be seen. And yeah, so I like I said, I did that for like 3 months. I probably made like, I think it was 80 or 90 different kinds of harnesses, and I can't even remember how many pants and how many jackets I did. But I want to remind you that, out of all the pants and jackets, mostly it's pants and jackets, and then that are already made, and you add stuff to it. And then for a few occasions, there's probably like 20 or 30 things that I made from scratch that you still don't really get to see. Like I was using a lot of this really crazy. My friend Kevin had given me all these Little League baseball bat bags, like big ass crazy duffel bags. And I guess they were supposed to be waterproof. So if you picture the outside of the bag was canvas, the inside of the bag was like this thick plastic, gross looking raincoat stuff that looked kind of like a body bag. So I ended up making a bunch of these weird boot covers and stuff that are in Alita out of the plastic body bag stuff. And then I made a few different ponchos and some hoodies, and I made like some army vests and stuff for some people. And yeah. Are you talking about that guy that's the Russian guy? There's a great guy that's on Instagram I was following, and he's the guy that did the rendering of the he was the one who came up with the design for Alita's body, the one that Ito made for his daughter, that kind of like carved ivory stuff. I wish I could remember that guy's name, but he's on Instagram. He does a lot of production art. He also did the production art of Exploder, where you can see Exploder. My character is standing next to like a rocket engine that's on the ground. Oh yeah, and the Iron City jacket. So there's 2 jackets on the Junker Designs website that are from Alita, and it's called Iron City jacket is one of them, and the other one is called the Blade Runner / Troublemaker jacket. And you can see those at the Junker on junkerdesigns.com in the store. So originally what I did, I had entered a contest called Envisioning the Future, which was a Blade Runner contest associated with the release of Ridley Scott's Final Cut, I think is what it was called. And they had a contest. They're like, if you have any kind of art or fashion that you do that's Blade Runner related, send it in, and you may win. You may win something nice or whatever. And I just remember entering, and then I think it was through Warner Home Video or something like that. Anyway, so I had designed the Blade Runner cop jacket, the one that is on the Junker site. And so that, I was thinking, obviously, Decker hunts replicants. He's more of a, he's a rep detective. He's a detective. He's not a cop. And then you see some cops in the city, and then I was like, well, I'm like, what about the I wonder what the heavy assault cops have to look like. So if you think, if there's, replicants gone wild that are, Roy Batty or, you know, really crazy, strong killers, probably just send out some heavy assault troops to kill them. So that's where the idea for that jacket came from. And so I won that contest. I think I got like gave me like an iPad and a poster, Drew Struzan poster that was really cool, and it's like $1,500 or something. I don't know. It was awesome. I was really, really stoked to win that, because then it made me kind of part of the Blade Runner universe, kind of. And then Robert Rodriguez is a huge Blade Runner fan, so I had already made him that jacket. So when we started working on Alita, one day he just walks in with his Blade Runner jacket. And he's like, "This is the jacket that I want from Hugo, but we'll make a couple changes to it." And so we ended up. He and Nina talked about it. Nina Proctor, the costume designer, and we ended up adding like a regular collar to it. So it's really hard to see in the film, but Hugo's jacket has a motocross collar, like one of those thin collars that just snaps across. And then it's got a zipper, and then the other collar is attached with a zipper. It's held on with a zipper. So like the Levi's style kind of collar is attached with a zipper. It's pretty hard to see in the film. So it's got a weird double collared jacket on. And according to like Nina Proctor's philosophy about how fashion works, at least in Iron City, it was like a sign of having some extra money, because fabric was so scarce that she made it a point to have a lot of people without collars, because you just wouldn't have the extra fabric to have a collar. So the fact that Hugo was like, out jacking people and getting some money together, like, he has a collar, which is a big step up. Supposedly. That's like a class separation, is a collar, which I thought was a really interesting, crazy idea. And yeah, it makes plenty of sense. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, Robert Rodriguez is really cool. Really cool. So when I run into Robert, usually we just end up talking about Blade Runner or Star Wars. Like, we can't help it. And so I was really stoked when he's like, "Dude, come here." And so he showed me his Blade Runner blaster replica that he had got. This is a few years back, but I'd never seen one before in person. And I was just like, wow, man. And that thing weighs a ton. Since then, I have a couple of blasters and stuff now, but it's just cool that kind of no matter what we're working on film-wise, we just end up talking about Blade Runner or Star Wars related stuff. He's got his hands like in a bunch of, he's always seems like he's got a ton of different projects going on. He's definitely, seems like he's super focused. It's just something to aspire to. Is like, I need to somehow increase my output and, step it up for sure. That's pretty interesting, Zach. Uh, I think they'd make another one. Um, I don't think so. I think it'd be somebody else. It is an interesting question. Maybe the Wojciechowskis would do that. Do you think? I know there's another. There's another. What do you call it? There's another Matrix, I believe, coming out, and so I don't know. Didn't they have some of those in the last? Oh man, my brain. And in the Matrix Part 3, didn't they have some like kind of tech suit Gundam stuff in the end of that in the end of that one Matrix movie, the last one? But as far as like doing a straight movie, like all like that kind of stuff, I don't know. That's a good question. I think that it might be too Japanese. Do you think? I don't know. I do not know. Maybe. I would think the Japanese just have to make it, man. It's like too Japanese. Um, you know, they'd be like accused of maybe like whitewashing or something. I don't know. I do not know. But Guillermo del Toro did a big kaiju movie that seemed to go over pretty well. Oh yeah, I have that book. I'm in that book too. Um, I mean, I can't tell you guys like what a crazy, huge thrill it is to grow up as a sci-fi fan. And when I grew up, I had like the Art of Star Wars book, and then there was a Alien book, and anything that had to do with making these movies book. I had those books. So for me to end up in that book, the Alita art book. I mean, it's crazy. There's a big picture of Hugo wearing like the jacket um, that I designed. It's really weird. And then millions of people saw the movie. It's super cool. There's a lot of good stuff in there. I think hopefully there's some good pictures of those weapons too. I have my copies in the other room, but I haven't looked at them lately. There's also a really good Cinefex magazine. I think it's issue 133 is the one that's all about Alita. There's some really great stuff in there too, like really good stuff. Um, it goes pretty in depth, with the all the stuff, but mostly it's talking about the Weta part of it, the CGI part of it. Um, yeah, Giger's Alien. Yeah, dude. Yeah, so I had the Alien. I think it was called the Alien Picture Book. That just basically was like going through the whole film. Um, I remember there's one I really really love called Alien: The Illustrated Story. It's a comic book. It was put out by Warren Publications, I think. Walt Simonson did the artwork. Like that thing I really loved. I grew up on Wayne Barlow's Guide to Extraterrestrials. If you guys have ever seen that book, that thing's insane, insane. Um, what else did he do? I think Wayne Barlow, when he was like 16, did the Star Wars pop-up book. Was his first like professional job, and he's gone on to do like so much. Look up Wayne Barlow's art, and it's insane. That dude is out of his mind. Um, yeah, nice. Yeah, I like reading these comments about, yeah, Landau was cool. He was around all the time. I mean, the technology is there. You know, you could have looked at a Transformer movie and figured out you could do a Gundam film. Um, uh, yeah. So hopefully we're gonna do more of these. I mean, I really want to see. Speaking of the Wachowskis, or I'd like to see like a Speed Racer reboot that looks Speed Racer the Dark series is the way I picture it. That's something I'd like to see come back from my childhood. That's Japanese related. I know they keep making Ultramans because I watch those. But man, Speed Racer would be super cool. The other live action that they did was just, whew, man, that was a freaking mess. It's like too hard to watch. I don't know what you guys thought. I don't know if you saw the Speed Racer from the Wachowski brothers. Yeah, I don't know, man. Kind of out of stuff to talk about for today, but I'm gonna go ahead and I'll be back to. I think it's only an hour and 12 minutes, Slick. But if you come back, you can get drunk again tomorrow. And make sure to spread the word. Thanks to new people for showing up. Definitely, please subscribe. Make sure to like this. Make sure to leave me some comments when this thing goes up. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. I appreciate your time. Have a good day. We'll always end up talking about Alita. I can't help it. So, all right. Have a good day.